Declaration. The Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in the Robinson Superior Treaty Territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and the Métis. Any additions, deletions, or amendment to the agenda? Hearing none. I have a motion moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolved that the Monday, April 17th meeting agenda be approved as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Rules of interest. There's one I'd call for myself, item A and B, general disbursements. Next item, adoption of minutes. Moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor St. Louis, resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held Monday, April 3rd be approved as presented. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next item, presentation, OCWA. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hi, good evening. If I could just have permission to share my screen, if that's okay.
Can you do it, Patrick, or is it not letting you right now?
It's saying host disabled participant screen sharing. So I'll need the admin to, oh, there we go. It's working now. So tonight I'm here to talk about the 2022 Section 11 Annual Report and the Schedule 22 Annual Summary Report. Some acronyms and definitions for you that you'll find in these reports. Maximum acceptable concentration, adverse water quality incident, Ontario regulation, concentration of chlorine and time of contact, nephelometric turbidity units, permit to take water, municipal drinking water license, boil water advisory, cubic meter, and microgram. In Ontario, OREG 17003 of the Safe Drinking Water Act requires an annual report be prepared for each drinking water system. This report is intended to inform both the public and municipal council about the operation of the drinking water system over the previous calendar year. Section 11 of OREG 170 requires the development and distribution to the public of an annual report summarizing water quality monitoring results, adverse water quality incidents, system expenses, chemicals used in the water treatment process. Section 11 summarizes the quality of the treated water. Your municipal drinking water system description, raw intake and pump house. The raw water intake for the low lift pump station is located at Jackfish Channel on Lake Superior. The intake line is a 170 meter long, 300 millimeter diameter line located 75 meters west of the intake for Terrace Bay pulp. The low lift pump station houses 3 pumps and is located approximately 50 meters west of the mill pump house. The water is pumped to the Terrace Bay water treatment plant via a 250 millimeter diameter pipe, 2.5 kilometers long. There are 4 identical standby groundwater wells located adjacent to the low lift pump station for emergency situations. Each well is 250 millimeters in diameter, 17 meters deep, and equipped with a submersible pump. The standby wells discharge into the wet well of the low lift pump station. The low lift pump station has a 150 kilowatt propane power generator for emergency standby power and is located as a standalone unit in the weatherproof enclosure. Water treatment plant. Raw water entering the plant is directed to 4 slow sand filter units, each with a 1.2 meter thickness of filter sand, 600 millimeter gravel, and perforated pipe under drain system. Filter water then passes through 2 ultraviolet disinfection units, providing a minimum ultraviolet dosage of 40 millijoules per centimeter squared at a peak flow rate of 45 liters per second. UV water entering the reservoir feed pipe is injected with a sodium hypochlorite solution. In July 2013, a phosphate blend corrosion inhibitor feed system was installed and commissioned. The system consisted of 2 chemical metering pumps, storage drum, feed tubing, and injection point to inject Terrace 8600 for corrosion control. Fluorinated water is then directed to an underground 5,193 meter cube concrete reservoir consisting of 4 interconnected chambers with baffles providing chlorine contact time. There's a 480 kilowatt propane generator providing emergency standby power for the water treatment plant, disinfection process, and high lift pumps. This allows for the production of and distribution of potable water during power loss. There are only 2 chemicals used in the treatment process, and that's sodium hypochlorite and Terrace 8600 for corrosion control. Some of the major system expenses: UV system maintenance, annual generator maintenance, HVAC system repairs and annual service, groundwater well inspections, replacement corrosion control pump, spare wet well pump and motor, and hydrant flushing valve exercising program. Reported adverse water quality incidents for 2022. February 24th, adverse total coliform result present. March 7th, Terrace pump failed. March 17th, there was a loss of pressure due to a power loss and a failure of the generator to start. September 16th, there was a lead exceedance reported of 12.3 micrograms per liter, and the minimum acceptable concentration is 10 micrograms per liter. October 26th was another adverse TC result. December 24th, another low distribution pressure related to failure of the generator to start. Schedule 22 of ORWEG 17003 requires the development and distribution to council of an annual report summarizing incidents of regulatory noncompliance and associated corrective actions, in addition to providing flow monitoring results for the purpose of enabling the owner to assess the capability of the system to meet existing and planned demand. Schedule 22 summarizes the quantity of the raw and treated water. We'll look at a couple diagrams here of daily flow rates for raw water and treated water. We'll look at average daily volume and maximum daily volume versus a permit to take water, and the average daily volume and maximum daily volume versus your municipal drinking water license. Raw water flow rates for 2022, the average daily volume was 1,844 meters cubed. Permit to take water, it's 5,636, about 33%. Maximum daily volume recorded was 2,848 meters cubed, 51%. Treated water flow rates for 2022, average daily volume, 1,706 meters cubed, 44% of your municipal drinking water license allowance. The maximum daily volume is 2,703 meters cubed, about 70%. Regulatory noncompliance and corrective actions for 2022 include measures that were not in place to protect the groundwater and or goody source in accordance to the municipal drinking water license and drinking water works permit issued under Part 5 of the Safe Drinking Water Act. And that was partially completed this year due to the completion of the well inspections as well as creation of a more specific plan for daily, monthly, and annual inspections of the groundwater wells. Another non-compliance was related to the ORO and OIC designation letters. The MACP was not happy about the way we've been doing things for many years by having a blanket letter that states who the OICs and ORO is, which led to some changes with our logbook entries going forward, and that has been resolved. There was also another non-compliance for related to loud sampling and monitoring, which was due to data not being submitted within the allotted timelines. And another non-compliance for the system registration information was not provided within 10 days of a change, and that has been corrected. For the operating year of 2022, the Terrace Bay drinking water system was able to meet the demand of water use within the town without exceeding the municipal drinking water license and permit to take water. Thank you very much for your time. That's all.
Any questions? I got a couple, Patrick.
Sure.
You use electronic logs or paper logs?
We used to use paper logs, and we have moved to electronic logs as of 2021.
Okay, the other one was, you said we do well inspections yearly. That's the groundwater wells, or?
It wouldn't be the same scope as having a well tech do those inspections. Basically, what they were looking for is an annual measure of the pumps and just a visual inspection of the area type thing. And that's recorded in the logbook.
Yeah. And who does that, Patrick?
That would be us. We would have an electrician come in to do the measuring, but the remainder of any inspection would be us for the daily, monthly, and annual checks. And then depending on when you guys plan to look at doing any well cleaning for those wells, we could develop a 5 to 10 year plan based on the recommendations of the well technicians.
Okay. What about the problems we've had with the generator? What's going to happen with that?
Right. I don't have all the details about that currently at the moment, but I definitely will get back to you on that if you'd like.
Okay, or to Ryan.
I can speak on that if you want, Patrick.
Go ahead, Ryan.
So right now with the lightning strike generator issues, we are in the process right now of issuing an RFP to do some repairs to a bunch of stuff. We've engaged engineering to do a full assessment on all the electrical equipment in the water treatment plant, and that's going to be going through the insurance claim for the lightning strike. So that we will be issuing the RFP for all the work probably this week, choosing a contractor, getting the work done, and by July 1st, we're gonna have hopefully all these issues resolved and have a more reliable generator system.
That's good, because isn't it checked monthly, that generator?
Yeah.
So
Yes, it is.
if it's checked monthly, like, why did that happen?
So the easy explanation is we're getting inconsistent or dirty power, as it's called, where we're experiencing phase loss. The generator isn't recognizing. If the power goes completely out, the generator starts, no problem. When we do the generator test, we put it to test, the generator starts, no problem. What's happening is that the transfer switch isn't recognizing that low voltage on one phase issue and not switching over. That's if the power goes flat out, the generator has no issue, and that's the exact same as doing a test. When we put it on test, it's as if we've lost line power.
Yeah.
So it's when we experience that dirty power, which we know from this engineering study that we've done, we actually put power monitoring on for a month. We actually have data to back up that we are experiencing a lot of dirty power there.
Okay. Okay, no other questions? Okay, thank you for your presentation, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. Take care.
Okay, there's a couple motions here, moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolve that council accept the Ontario Clean Water Agency 2022 annual summary report for the Terrace Bay drinking water system dated February 2023. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Next motion, moved by Councillor St. Louis, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolve the council accept Ontario Clean Water Agency Regulation 170-2020, Section 11, and annual report for the Terrace Bay drinking water system dated February 2023. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. No. Okay. Next item, report from administration, public works.
Thank you. Thank you, your worship. Talking about annual spring cleanup week. So each year, the township of Terrace Bay provides a cleanup week for our residents. This week includes free curbside pickup of materials, extended landfill hours, as well as waiving of tipping fees at the landfill site. Administration would like to schedule cleanup week for May 13th through 20th, 2023. Financial implications, there will be a loss of revenue as the landfill tipping fees will be waived for the spring cleanup period, as well as the increased landfill site attendant wages for the extended hours. Two options tonight. Option one, that council approve the spring cleanup week as presented. Option two, that council does not approve spring cleanup week and directs administration otherwise. Recommendation is administration is recommending option one, the council approve the spring cleanup week as presented. Just want to point out that there's an attachment with the spring cleanup rules. There's no real changes there from year to year. The pickup times, the areas, and the extended dump open hours.
Any questions?
The only one I have is a scriber on board. They're gonna do it at the same time. Do we know? We talked to them about it.
Well, we haven't spoke to Scriber yet. What we've been doing is just scheduling it and letting them know when we're doing
Okay.
the week, and they usually jump on board.
Okay, I'm good with it then.
Okay, motion moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor St. Louis, resolve the council approve the spring cleanup week report as presented. Any questions, other questions? In favor? Okay, that's carried.
Thank you all.
That's right. Thank you.
Next item, community development supervisor, Luke, go ahead.
Thank you. Regulation 565 under the Health Protection and Promotion Act, RO 1990 regarding public pools states every owner and every operator shall ensure that where a public pool is open for use, there are on duty on the deck lifeguards and assistant lifeguards trained in the emergency procedures for the pool and in such numbers that the total provided is in accordance with either of the following tables, and the number of assistant lifeguards does not exceed the number of lifeguards. Table 2 is presented, so we have 0 to 30 bathers in the pool or on the deck. It's minimum 1 lifeguard, 31 to 100, which is about our average, is a minimum of 2. To safely operate the pool 7 days a week, offering swim lessons and open swims, the Terrace Bay swimming pool requires a minimum of 6 qualified lifeguards. With a full contingency of staff, the pool is typically open for 11 hours per day and has a minimum of 3 lifeguards on duty at all times. Administration has currently received 3 complete applications and 1 conditional application. The conditional application would require that the township provide housing for the applicant. Administration has connected with pool operators in Marathon and Thunder Bay regarding staff availability, as both the Marathon Swimming Pool and Canada Summer Games Complex will be closed for all or part of summer 2023. For persons 16 years or older, It will take a minimum of 100 hours of training to become a certified lifeguard. The typical timeline for lifeguard certification is over a year, as the training is subject to instructor and course availability. Lifeguard and swim instructor shortages are being experienced across Canada. However, administration will continue to pursue potential applicants. With our current 3 applicants, 3 lifeguards would allow the pool to be open 5 days a week. However, pool hours and swimming lesson capacity would likely be restricted. Qualifications of a lifeguard, the qualifications of the lifeguards who have applied limits our swimming lessons up to the level of swimmer 6. This level is typically associated with someone 12 years old. There are no recommended options at this time. This report is being provided for information only.
Thanks. Any questions?
Are you running an NLS research or
There is a research going on in Marathon in first week of May.
first week of May?
Yeah, I believe it's first week of May, might be the second. So actually, none of our lifeguards who have applied have their qualifications right now. They're signed up for the research in Marathon. I did have the opportunity to connect with a person from NLS as well last week, asking them essentially if we had somebody from the community just challenged to be a lifeguard, is that a possibility? Then they said, no, we need to go through your bronze med, bronze cross, do the entire course. You can't just challenge for it.
I have a question, and I don't know if Luke or Chris could answer that. That email you sent about them lowering the age to 15.
Yeah, that's what I had sent out to you guys today when I was just reading through the paper and whatnot. And is that what it looks like is that they're gonna be taking feedback, I believe it was till April 28th, and lowering it to 15 and from 16 years old. Because they're saying like you can't take your lifeguard course until you're 16. So part of their thought process was, well, if we reduce it to 15 and it takes, say, 10 weeks to get the course or a few weekends, then by 16 they should be ready to go. And that the way it sounds too is that the Life Saving Society, which governs lifeguarding, is on board with it. It's just sort of like a provincial legislation, if I'm not mistaken. That's the way I
It would
interpreted
be
it.
amended that like the regulation 565.
Yeah,
Within that, I did speak to Michelle about that today as well. In Terrace Bay locally, we don't have any lifeguards or like anybody who would be 15 this summer to qualify for that if it was enacted. I don't know about Thunder Bay or Marathon, however.
And one other thing I heard on the radio last week was Geraldton, that Mark, is the name Mark? Mick, is that his name? Up there, their CAO?
yeah.
Mark Wright. Mark Wright. Anyway, he was talking and they're looking at opening up their pool in the high school, I guess. And they're also struggling to get the lifeguard. So
Yeah,
there's not Terrace Bay alone. Like you said, Luke, Canada wide, and that's why they're opening it up. Okay, any other questions, Luke? Okay, I have a motion moved by Councilor St. Louis, seconded by Councilor Johnson, resolved that council accept 2023 pool operations and staffing report as presented. All in favor? Carried. Next item, Luke, is the customer service agreement for the ice plant.
Since 1985, Township of Terrace Bay has held a refrigeration plant customer service agreement that assists in maintaining equipment in good operating condition. Terrace Bay's provider for the past 38 years, 4 months and refrigeration, has opted out of the 2020 to 2024 agreement, citing higher than expected material and travel expenses, and has indicated they're transitioning away from CFAs. Berg Industrial Service has proposed a 5-year customer service agreement for the refrigeration ice plant at the Terrace Bay Memorial Arena. This customer service agreement will cover our compressors, combined pumps, condenser, chiller, control panel, and dehumidifiers. Include our annual startup, mid-season, and shutdown inspections, staff instruction on the proper operations of equipment, and 24-hour emergency service. The labor necessary to inspect and maintain the subject equipment in good operating condition is also included. This agreement is subject to cancellation by either party with written notice at least 90 days prior to the anniversary date. For financial implications, the previous CIPCO contract running from 2020 to 2024 averaged $11,473 per year, or a total of $57,368. The proposed contract from Berg Industrial Service ending following the 2027-2028 skating season averages $13,832 and totals $69,163. The options, option A, the council approved the 5-year customer service agreement from Berg Industrial Service in the amount of $69,163. Option B, the council does not approve the 5-year customer service agreement from Berg Industrial Service and directs administration otherwise. The recommendation is option A.
Any questions?
No.
I got a couple. Luke, is Berg out of Winnipeg too?
Correct.
Like, do you know of any other arena that had their contract canceled by Simcoe?
No, I don't.
So we're the only one that has expensive parks then.
It was indicated that they were moving away from all CSAs. However, a couple of our neighboring communities still have theirs. I don't know what they pay for a CSA or what the state of their equipment is or how much Simcoe has invested into their equipment lately. As far as additional competitors, there was another company in Winnipeg that we approached that wasn't interested in a CSA this far, as well as a company in Sudbury who wasn't interested in offering CSA. Simcoe is moving to what was indicated to me, moving to a service maintenance agreement. So that averaged about $15,000 a year. It would be they would come down for our startup, our mid-season and shutdown. However, all their labor wasn't covered. And our consumables would be, none of that would be covered. It would make it much more challenging to budget for.
Okay. No other questions? Okay. To the motion moved by Councillor Johnson, second by Councillor St. Louis, resolved by council through the 5-year customer service agreement from Berg Industrial Service in the amount of $69,163. All in favor? Carried. Next item is the NOHFC application grant for the Memorial Arena.
Thank you. Administration is seeking council support for an application to the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation's Rural Enhancement Stream. The Rural Enhancement Funding Stream is designed to support priorities of rural communities to contribute to healthy and strong communities. If approved, NOHFC will cover 75% of the costs identified in the application. This application would offset the cost of 3 2023 budget items and 1 2024 budget item. The north wall waterproofing, removal and supply of the ammonia suction piping, floor brine piping repairs, and the procurement of an electric ice resurfacer. If approved, eligible project expenditures will be backdated to February 24th, 2023. Financial implications. If approved, the municipality would see $80,000 saved from the infrastructure reserve for the north wall waterproofing, $34,000 saved on the levy for the ammonia piping repairs, and $9,000 saved on the levy for the floor piping repairs. Up to $162,000 could be remaining and rolled forward for the purchase of an electric ice resurfacer in the 2024 budget. Options. Option A, that council support the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation 7510188 Terrace Bay Memorial Arena Capital Infrastructure Enhancements, and that council commits to covering cost overruns for the expenditures identified in the NOHFC application 7510188. Option B, the council do not support the NOHFC application 7510188 and directs administration otherwise. The recommendation is option A.
Any questions?
I think it's good.
Yep. I have one. What about a timeline? Would that affect the arena opening this year?
For this grant application?
Yeah.
No, so we have secured, like, for the 2023 project, we know that we were doing them anyway.
Yeah.
This would be reimbursed funds.
Okay.
And for the budgeted projects, the RFP for the north wall, that closes this Thursday. And for the ammonia piping, we have selected the contractor, who will be Berg, and they've identified they're able to do it this summer, and they have the materials on hand, don't anticipate any delays. For an electric ice resurfacer, We had looked at it for the 2023 budget. On the quotes from Olympia as well as Zamboni, it does say it could take up to 12 months to receive. So even if we did budget for it in 2024, we may not actually receive the unit until 2025. I don't know if those timelines would change or not within the next year.
Any other questions? Okay, a motion moved by Counselor St. Louis or seconded by Counselor Johnson, resolved that council support the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation 75-10188, that the Terrace Bay Memorial Arena capital infrastructure enhancement, and that council commits to covering costs and cost overrun for the expenditures identified in the NOHFC application 7510188. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you. Thank you.
Special Projects Coordinator, Katie.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Got two reports here today. So the first one is the social media marketing package. So as part of a budgeted and scheduled social media marketing package, administration coordinated with an advertising campaign with Ontario's Superior Country. This service came with a cost of $1,000 plus HST for Superior Country to develop an article and promote it through social media advertising. $200 of this $1,000 social media package was dedicated directly to promoting the campaign on social media platforms, also known as boosting of hope. The focus of this social media marketing package was of the volunteer run Terrace Ridge Ski Hill. In addition to the regular benefits of the social media marketing package, Ontario Superior Country included the Trestle Ridge article as part of a larger regional ad campaign coined Superior Skiing. This advertising campaign included 3 articles: a regional downhill and cross country promotional piece, a Manitowoc's Ski Hill piece, as well as Terrace Bay's Trestle Ridge ski article. Each campaign provided information and links to the other while being advertised together throughout specific markets. The Trestle Ridge advertisement and article performed very well. The average time visitors spent viewing the article was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. This is extremely positive, showing that those who clicked to read the article were captivated by the content and read the article fully. This and the fact that staff have heard reports of ski hills having good attendance this year determines that the marketing campaign was a success. Some results here shows that the promotion timeline was 30 days. It shows the amount of dollars spent, as well as the reach. We were able to reach over 31,000 people, 681 clicks, and a total engagement of 811. Also, furthermore, on the Superior Country blog article, they had a little bit of a longer promotional period with 617 page views. 585 of them were unique, and they spent the 2 minutes and 28 seconds reading it. So the Trestle Ridge article will remain on the superiorcountry.ca website indefinitely, so it will continue to gain page views and readership. It is recommended that we build on the success and visit doing this campaign again next season. Administration has already been working on obtaining aerial photography and footage of the Trestle Ridge ski hill to better improve campaign performance in the future. There are no financial implications at this time.
Any questions?
Just comments, I can tell you, like, Sarah and I probably went about 30 times cumulatively. So we spent a bunch of time at the hill this winter, and there's always on the weekend people from Marathon. Lots of people, and they had mentioned it like offhand. I usually would talk to them, or Paul would speak with them, and yeah, so lots of people from Marathon came down to our hill this winter. Lots of families, and like I remember one time there's 3 or 4 like vehicles full, just like groups of people coming. So no, it was good, and I like it. The picture was good too that they picked of him, Pete doing the jump or whatnot. But
Okay, thank you.
They're still getting a lot of people from Nippigan.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I think that Nippigan and Marathon both lack ski hills, so I would imagine they would be our perfect target market for sure.
Okay, next one, Stacy, here's the hazardous waste day.
So last year, the Township of Terrace Bay held its annual Household Hazardous Waste Day on June 3rd, 2022, outside in the Tourist Information Parking Lot. This event takes place with the assistance of GFL Environmental, who oversees the final sorting and safe disposal of our household hazardous waste. All applicable pandemic protocols were considered and put into place for safety of residents, volunteers, contractors, and staff who participated. The event successfully diverted the following from the landfill. So approximately 3,946 kilograms of hazardous waste was successfully diverted from the landfill in 2022. This is an increase to the previous year, 2021's totals of 3,360 kilograms. So the current discussion is the Township of Terrace Bay will be having its annual household hazardous waste day June 2nd. So Friday, June 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Terrace Bay Tourist Information Center parking lot. Volunteers and municipal staff assist residents with the drop-off process, accepting the waste and sorting it with the assistance of on-site GFL environmental staff who oversee the safe disposal of the waste. Household hazardous waste day is available to all residents of Terrace. So eligible household hazardous waste materials for drop-off include antifreeze, compact fluorescent light bulbs and tubes, fertilizers, fungicide, herbicide, insecticides, pesticides, and containers. Oil containers of 30 liters or less and use oil filters. Paints and coatings along with its containers, pressurized containers such as propane tanks and fire extinguishers, rechargeable batteries, and solvents and paint strippers. Electronic waste and car batteries will not be accepted. We do not accept commercial or industrial hazardous waste. And there's that. This event is budgeted yearly, costs vary year to year depending on the type and the amount of waste collected.
Any questions? No, I don't do that.
Oh, okay. Making sure.
We don't want to interrupt her all doing this.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
Nope, nothing good.
You don't know how much it cost us last year?
Last year was 14,000. Yeah.
Luke,
Oh, I think about 3,000. So
Okay, that was that final tally from them? Okay,
for all their paint?
yeah, for all their paint, yeah.
Okay, well, thanks.
Not propane tanks or?
Ontario Parks had a.
Covered all the road.
Yeah.
Truckloads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, no other questions? Thank you, Stacy. Okay, there's two motions, moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor St. Louis. Resolve that council accept the social media marketing package, Trust Ridge advertising report as presented. All in favor? Carried. Next one, moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Dubé. Resolve the council accept there's the household hazardous waste day report as presented. All in favor? Okay, carried. Next item, Keith Boland isn't here, it's about our surplus fire truck. John, are you gonna read that?
I will, thank you, Your Worship. So occasionally the township that circles trade then comes out to dispose of these items as per bylaw 18/2021. Pumper one is a 97 Freightliner FL80 chassis. I won't go through the serial number. Truck currently has about 23,000 kilometers on it, which seems low, but it's not necessarily kilometers in the truck, it's the age of the vehicle. As per FBA standards, it's no longer considered a frontline pumper. The township purchased a new fire truck as council aware in 2022, which was recently delivered at the end of February. The 97 Freightliner was winterized, deemed to be out of service, and is currently being stored at the works garage. Both the truck and the pump were in running condition when winterized. The truck also passed the pump test in 2022. In terms of other firefighting apparatus in the truck, there are two known issues. The main ladder of the truck failed inspection in 22, will need to be replaced. Additionally, the foam system on the truck has a leak, but a fuel kit was purchased and will be sold alongside the truck. Keeping the truck as a spare and for training purposes was considered. However, the potential value where it is, potential maintenance costs, and lack of adequate storage space, the decision to dispose of the asset is preferred. After some discussion, some online research, it was determined the 97 Freightliner, or old pumper number one, which we will now refer to it as, does still hold some value. Administration is recommending the machine be declared surplus, put up for sale, either through tender or possibly auction with a minimum price of 25,000. So the options are optional that council declare the 97 Freightliner FL80 pumper as surplus equipment and put up for sale through public tender or auction with a minimum price of 25,000. Option two is council declare the 97 Freightliner FL80 as surplus equipment and put up for sale through public tender or auction with a minimum price of blank if council doesn't agree with the 25. And option number three is that council not declare the 97 Freightliner surplus and direct administration otherwise. Administration is recommending option one.
Any questions? I have one, John, who's selling it, us or wait for Winnipeg there?
It'll be us, so we'll either use, we might use an online auction system, or maybe just put it up on our own website, we haven't decided that yet. We're still looking into the fees and commission. So.
No other question? Okay, I have a motion moved by Councilor Dubé, seconded by Councilor Johnson, resolve that council declare the 1997 Freightliner FL80. And I'm not gonna read the serial number either. Pumper number one is surplus equipment and put up for sale through public tender auction with a minimum price of $25,000. All in favor? Carried. Next item, general disbursement. Moved by Councilor Johnson, second by Councilor Dubé, resolve the council approve the general disbursements for the month ending March 2023 in the amount of $492,780.35. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Bylaws. The motion moved by Councilor Dubé, seconded by Councilor Johnson, resolved that a bylaw to enter into a customer service agreement with Berg Industrial Service be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered the 17th day of April 2023. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Next item here is a resolution to support the town of Essex, moved by Councilor Johnson, second by Councilor Dubé. Resolve that council direct administration to send a letter in support of the town of Essex to all relevant taxation bodies, including the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, the Ministry of Finance, MPP Leeds Bourgeois Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and all other municipalities in Ontario, urging them to reinstate previous legislation that permitted a municipality to apply for and retain the surplus proceeds from tax sale in their jurisdiction. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Question period, any questions out there, John?
Nothing online currently, we'll give it 3 seconds. Going once. Twice. And twice.
Thank you. Now we are going in camera. We have a motion moved by Councilor Dubé, second by Councilor Johnson, resolve the council proceed in camera in order to address matters pertaining to minutes from previous in camera session. One matter under advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for purpose regarding Hydro Bay and Scott Avenue. And one matter concerning personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees regarding the senior of the year. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Okay, Terry. We are now in bed.
Thank you very much.